was one of the biggest misconceptions of the Indiana Fever. Like, maybe it was like locker room stuff. I feel like early on,
oh my
like,
gosh, there was so much locker room talk. Oh my gosh, her body language. She was not happy. She hates this entire squad.
What does Aaliyah Boston really think of Caitlin Clark? In a brand new episode of Sue Bird's Bird's Eye View podcast, Boston pulls back the curtain like never before. She opens up about her very first impression of Clark back in college, what it's been like transitioning to teammates on the Indiana Fever, and how their bond has grown both on and off the court. Boston also dives into how she supported Clark through her recent injury, giving fans a glimpse of the genuine care behind the headlines. And if that wasn't enough, she drops some eye-opening locker room stories that are equal parts raw, real, and flat-out hilarious. This isn't your typical polished interview, it's an unfiltered conversation that shows the heart, humor, and honesty of two rising superstars redefining the WNBA. Drop an AB or CC in the comments to show love for Aaliyah, Caitlin, and the Fever family.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Yeah. Remember when Sheryl Swoopes made headlines with her comments? Well, Aaliyah Boston may have just delivered the ultimate in-your-face response, without even trying. When Caitlin Clark first arrived in Indiana, no one was more curious, or more brutally honest, than Boston herself. These two aren't strangers, they battled in one of the most unforgettable Final Four clashes in recent memory, a night Caitlin lit it up for 40 points against Boston's South Carolina squad. And Boston admits, those kinds of moments don't just fade away. She had to confront it head-on, because becoming teammates with the same player who once torched you on the biggest stage isn't something you just brush under the rug. Instead, Boston flipped it into fuel, showing not only her competitive fire but also her growth as a leader alongside Clark in Indiana.
That year, I was like, I forgot, we were like doing something. We had something. I was like, Caitlin, I just want to say, I'm like really upset that you like did what you did in that Final Four game. I was like, I feel like I just need to get it off my chest because like we are teammates, but I'm like, you didn't have to do all that. Like you did not have to go for 40 on our dome. Like, girl, we could have just had fun. But after that, it was like cool because obviously now we're on the same team, so you don't worry about that. But I always thought it was funny because I'm like, we just went from competing against each other, you beating us, and now we're on the same team. It's like, I was like, girl, it's okay, I get it. I'm not mad at you for real, but I am. Because like, why would you do that?
What does Aaliyah Boston really think of Caitlin Clark? In a brand new sit-down on Sue Bird's Bird's Eye View podcast, Boston gets more real than ever before, pulling fans into the story behind one of the WNBA's most talked about duos. She takes us back to her first impression of Caitlin during their college battles, breaking down how that fierce rivalry turned into respect once they became teammates on the Indiana Fever. Boston doesn't shy away from the details. She shares how their relationship has grown, how she supported Clark through her injury, and even drops some unfiltered locker room stories that are already making waves. The conversation is filled with laughter, honesty, and moments that show just how genuine their connection really is. This isn't just another feel-good interview, it's raw, refreshing, and a rare look at two young stars navigating the spotlight together. Drop AB and CC in the comments if you're rocking with Aaliyah, Caitlin, and the Fever's rise.
Girl,
you did the thing, made the joke, moved on. That's really what it is.
And then you kind of just move on. You're like, listen, we're on the same team now, so let's whoop some butt. Let's do it.
100%.
As the season went on, their chemistry became one of the most undeniable storylines in the league. Aaliyah explained that what makes their connection so special goes far deeper than numbers on a stat sheet. It's built on trust, intuition, and an almost unspoken rhythm, knowing exactly when to roll, when to cut, and when to seal without ever having to call for the ball. That silent understanding between them doesn't just elevate their own games, it raises the level of the entire Fever offense, making them one of the most exciting tandems to watch in the WNBA.
But you guys do complement each other. Yeah. And I hear you that it takes time, but like, what do you think it is about each of your games that works well, like Mostly in the pick and roll.
Yeah, I think honestly, one, like Caitlyn, the attention she gets, right? Yeah. Like teams are like up. Like if they're under and dropped, that shot's going up. Because I'm going to set a good screen, that shot's going up and she's getting it. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to step up. And she's just a phenomenal passer. Like her angles, like she knows exactly where to get it.
Caitlyn's passing vision paired with Aaliyah's elite positioning has created a connection that feels effortless, yet unstoppable. Their ability to read each other in real time has quickly made them one of the most electric duos in the league. What's even more impressive is the detail behind it. Aaliyah revealed that she literally watches Caitlyn's eyes to anticipate her next move, a subtle but powerful glimpse into the way they operate. That kind of unspoken communication isn't just about natural talent, it's about a shared basketball IQ that's already advanced and still growing. If this is how sharp they are in year one, just imagine what's coming next.
The way she sees the floor, I think, is great. And then for me, it's always like, I'm always going to get in her pocket because I know that she's looking to pass that ball and she wants to get us in the best position. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, I'm looking at your eyes. So once I see your eyes, I'm there. You don't have to say anything. I'm going.
When Caitlin Clark arrived in Indiana, it wasn't just a roster move. It was a seismic shift in the spotlight. Overnight, the Fever went from rebuilding quietly to living under a microscope where every possession, every shot, and every mistake was magnified. Aaliyah Boston opened up about just how chaotic those first few weeks felt, adjusting to a brand new offensive rhythm, navigating unfamiliar dynamics, and trying to meet sky-high expectations from fans and media alike. Instead of being given the space to grow together, the team was instantly judged as if they were a ready-made super squad, and every stumble was painted as failure. For Boston, it was a crash course in handling pressure at the highest level while staying locked in on building something real with her teammates.
The quote-unquote Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I think we all feel it in our unique ways.
100%.
Yeah. How did you experience it? Like, I know early on you talked about logging off social media. Like, what did you just learn in that period of time? And by the way, the social media aspect is not Caitlin's fault.
No.
So it's like, but what did you learn just like in that period of time?
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves Caitlyn. They love watching Caitlyn. Yeah. And so I think that just brings so much eyes. And I think for our league, that's great. Like, that is great for us. You have so many people coming in, they're watching. Like I always say, like, they might come in for Caitlyn and they leave and they're like, dang, this girl's a hooper too.
Yeah.
Oh, I like her. Like,
you're seeing it
hear
in
so many people say it. You hear, like, everyone says it. And I think you just kind of embrace that.
The media frenzy only poured gasoline on the fire. Every missed pass was turned into a headline, every awkward moment into a full-blown narrative. Strangers online were dissecting Aaliyah and Caitlin's body language like it was film study, crafting conspiracy theories out of simple growing pains. For Aaliyah, it became overwhelming. She's already her own toughest critic, carrying the weight of expectations and the responsibility of being a franchise cornerstone. The last thing she needed was a chorus of trolls questioning her chemistry with a teammate she was still learning to sync with. So, she made a choice. She logged off, shut out the noise, and focused on what mattered most, the game and the bond she was building inside that locker room.
A lot of it too can be people that are trolling. A lot of people that are talking. But for me, it's like, I am someone that already puts so much pressure on myself. And so for you to come in and tell me like, dang, you're like the worst post I've ever seen in my life. It's like, you know what? Hear me out. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
You can stay. I'm going to exit.
But Aaliyah never pointed fingers at Caitlyn. In fact, it was the opposite. She openly praised Clark for what she's brought to the league, the energy, the spotlight, and the wave of new fans that have taken the WNBA to another level. What Boston pushed back on wasn't her teammate, but the narrative, that unfair, unrealistic expectation that two young stars could just walk onto the court and be flawless together overnight. Chemistry doesn't work like that, and she knew it. Now that they've had the time to grow, to understand each other's games and rhythms, the results are undeniable. The connection feels natural, the confidence is real, and the Fever have become must-see basketball because of it.
Hey, there's a lot of play more. What kind of things do you say?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay. But
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay. It's a turn. Right? It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well, Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right? Everybody saw it.
But then came the drama, or at least the internet's version of it. Out of nowhere, whispers started flying about the Fever locker room, rumors of beef, bad blood, silent treatment, you name it. Fans and media ran wild with theories, convinced they had uncovered some deep rift between Aaliyah and Caitlyn. Meanwhile, the truth couldn't have been more different. Aaliyah was literally just waking up from a nap when she saw the chaos online. She logged in, scrolled through the noise, and could only laugh. Turning to her teammates, she jokingly asked, "Y'all good?" That was the extent of the so-called tension, a made-up storyline that collapsed the second the players themselves looked at it.
Oh my gosh, there was so much locker room talk, and
everybody I talked to were like, we vibe, we're good.
I was like, what are we talking about? Like, it's so easy for people to just make all these assumptions. Some people are like, oh my gosh, her body language, she was not happy, she hates this entire squad. I don't know, sometimes when you have a bad game personally, that takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Not that you don't like the team, it's not you, but that takes a toll on you. Every single night we come out, we want to play good. And so like all the time there were locker room talks. I forgot what was the conversation one time. I woke up from my nap, getting ready to go to pregame. People are like, oh, they hate each other. We walked in the locker room, we're like, girl, you good?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just woke up. I couldn't tell you what's happening right now, but all I know is we about to hoop. At 7 p.m. we got it.
Aaliyah made it crystal clear, all those swirling stories were just noise. The reality was far simpler. The Fever were locked in, unified, and zeroed in on one mission: winning. This wasn't a team divided, it was a group that protected its locker room and, more importantly, protected each other. While the outside world tried to write the script with rumors and drama, the players didn't bite. They stayed quiet, kept their heads down, and let their chemistry speak the loudest where it mattered most, on the court.
I hate when people get into this whole talking about what they think our locker room is like and what they think. I'm like, first of all, you're not in here.
No.
So you have no idea. And also, we're professionals. So if we want you to see something, you'll happily see it. If we don't, I guarantee you, you would never know there's a single problem. Why? Because that's none of your business, and we have more priorities, and that's...
So, to all the internet detectives and couch coaches who thought they cracked the code, maybe next time, sit this one out. Because what's really happening in Indiana isn't drama, it's danger, for every other team in the league. The Fever's 2024 playoff return may have been brief, but for Aaliyah Boston, it was anything but meaningless. She looks back on that series against Connecticut with a blend of pride and frustration, knowing just how close they were. Game 1 slipped through their fingers, but by Game 2, they were right there trading blows. The difference wasn't talent, it was experience. Connecticut's veterans knew exactly how to navigate playoff pressure, when to deliver the knockout punch, and how to seal the deal. For Boston, that was the real takeaway. The Fever weren't outclassed, just outseasoned. And next time, they'll be ready.
You learn from it.
It's like, we say it all the time in our season now, like, margin of error is so small, but when you're going up against a squad that has vets that have been in playoffs, that have won, it's like they know exactly what to do.
Did you feel a jump in there was
a jump in intensity and energy.
Isn't it crazy?
It's insane. Like the very first game when we played against Connecticut, like it was close, and then they kind of just they took it and they ran with it. And then the second game, it was like we were right there. And then I feel like
what stuck with Aaliyah most wasn't simply the sting of the loss. It was the conviction that if they had managed to force a third game back in Indiana, the Fever could have taken it. That belief, that sense of being right there, ignited something deeper. It's one thing to make the playoffs, but it's another to walk away feeling like you never truly got your shot. That unfinished business has become fuel, the kind that sharpens focus and hardens resolve. For Boston and the Fever, it's not just about returning, it's about proving that this next chapter won't end the same way. This time, they plan to write a different ending.
Because honestly, I think if we had brought it back to Indy, we were gonna get it. No, we were, because we had just beat them at home. So it's still one of those that's like, dang, if we could have just gotten to that third game, I think we really would have came out and just went bananas. But I think it was a great experience for us, and obviously like this year now too, we're like, listen, playoff run, like we need that. You feel it now, you're like, I need more.
Now, heading into her third season, Aaliyah says the entire mindset has shifted. The days of sneaking up on opponents or leaning into the underdog story are over. With key off-season additions, a revamped coaching staff, and the Caitlyn Clark spotlight drawing eyes from everywhere, the Fever are no longer just a young team with potential, they're a team expected to win. That expectation brings pressure, but Aaliyah frames it as purpose. Every team in the league is circling Indiana on their calendar, eager to take their shot. And Boston's response? They wouldn't want it any other way. For the Fever, being the hunted is proof they've arrived.
It's a lot of change.
Yes.
You have a coaching change.
Yep.
You have it's a big free agency year for you guys. And really overnight, what that big free agency year was, or big change was expectations change.
Yes.
So you guys went from like this up and coming, where it's like you're getting to know each other, to now it's like, oh, they could win the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the experience of essentially becoming like, instead of being the hunter, you're now the hunted?
Yeah. It's crazy, but I feel like it was definitely expected.
She's crystal clear about what it takes: chemistry, consistency, and zero excuses. Injuries, lineup changes, outside noise, it all comes with the territory, and Aaliyah refuses to let any of it be a crutch. The Fever's mindset this season isn't about simply showing up and competing, it's about making a statement. They're here to dominate. And as Aaliyah puts it, once this team fully locks in and figures everything out, it's going to get scary for the rest of the league.
Added in Caitlyn, right? And everybody's like, oh, like they're going to be this, and this. And now everybody's like, oh, you know what? We're going to prove you wrong. Like, hell no. Like, that's how it is. And then this year too, obviously we go in the free agency and everybody's like, yeah, like they got, for us, we always think like you have to approach every season with like, we're winning this whole season. So that was our mindset. And I think when you look at expectations, once again, expectations come from everyone outside. Cause like in our circle, we know exactly what we want to do. We also understand that it's a process. We understand that new faces, new coaches, like different style play for people joining us. It's like people need time to figure it out once again. But when you do figure it out, it's going to be scary.
And the 2025 season hasn't exactly played out like the Fever's dream script. What began with sky-high expectations quickly collided with reality, a reality shaped by a wave of injuries, none bigger than the loss of Caitlin Clark. For a young team still finding its identity, losing such a central piece mid-season could have easily unraveled everything. But according to Aaliyah Boston, this group doesn't flinch. Instead of folding, they doubled down on grit, leaned into trust, and kept grinding, determined to prove that their story isn't defined by setbacks, but by how they respond to them.
It's definitely been a struggle. But I think just at the start of the season too, like, you know, you have your start of the season meetings and you're talking. And for us, it was about, listen, like no matter what happens in the season, it's next woman up and you have to be ready. And I feel like obviously struggling with injuries and then, you know, you sign people and then they leave and it's like, listen, like whoever's next, be ready to play because it doesn't matter. Like the games still keep coming. Like you still have to be ready.
She explains that from the very first day of the season, the message was simple and unwavering: next woman up. Injuries happen, that's part of the game, but excuses have no place in the Fever locker room. Whether you're a starter or a role player, the expectation is the same: be ready, stay prepared, and step in when your number is called. That mentality, Aaliyah says, has been the backbone of their resilience, the reason they've been able to keep battling every single night despite missing key pieces. It's not about who's absent, it's about who's willing to rise.
Yes, specific to Caitlyn being on the floor, off the floor. And I saw you talk on your own podcast about like the spacing and how different it is. But when you're entering a game, like your mental prep, how does it change? Because it's two different systems essentially.
Still, losing Caitlin Clark wasn't just about missing a playmaker, it altered the entire rhythm of the Fever's offense. Aaliyah opened up about how different the game feels with and without Caitlin on the floor. When she's out there, every player has to be on high alert. The ball zips around quicker, the tempo kicks up a notch, and opposing defenses are forced to stretch in ways they normally wouldn't. It creates a whole new energy. As Aaliyah put it best, when Caitlin's playing, be ready to run.
Honestly, like when C is on the floor, I'm like, listen, be ready to run. Be ready to get out. Be ready because she's looking.
Yeah,
she's looking.
going.
She wants to play fast. Super early in the offense, and like we do that too as well here. But I think sometimes too now without her, like we can get into like a little more half court execution, make the defenses work a little bit harder. First side, second side, third side, and then I think when you have like Kelsey, when Kelsey's playing in transition, get that ball up to her and make her.
I've never seen anybody so bouncy.
Like she is unbelievable.
And
then when
what
you
is
put
in
her
those shoes?
In screens, it's like, what do you do?
Bouncing all over.
She is moving. She's making the right read. And it's like, listen, and she's scoring the ball at a very high level.
Without her, the game naturally slows. The Fever shift into more half-court execution, cycling through multiple options and making opponents work harder, deeper into the shot clock. It's not necessarily better or worse, just a completely different style. And learning how to thrive in both systems has given Indiana something invaluable: adaptability. Aaliyah points to that flexibility as one of the team's biggest strengths in an otherwise up-and-down season, proof that no matter the pace or personnel, they can find a way to compete.
She's on the floor, like she's looking to get up. People can be like, listen, I don't need to outlet because I know once we rebound, we're getting it up. But I also think it, once again, it's like puts people on their toes because they're like, whoa, I need to find Kelsey in transition. I need to find Ari now. Like we got to find Sophie and Lexi knocking down threes. Like it's different, but I think everyone is once again finding their own rhythm, and that we just did a great job of like putting it all together.
But let's be clear, Clark's absence hasn't just been a tactical challenge, it's been an emotional one. Aaliyah admitted how hard it is to watch a teammate go down, especially someone as competitive, invested, and game-changing as Caitlin. Still, she knows Clark will be back, and that belief fuels them to keep pushing forward. Every gritty win they can grind out now is one step closer to being battle-tested and playoff-ready when she returns. And what's helped them survive this storm? Veteran leadership. Aaliyah was quick to credit players like Natasha Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, and especially Sydney Colson as the glue holding it all together. Whether it's calming nerves in tense moments, setting the standard in practice, or dropping the perfect joke to break the tension, those vets have been essential in keeping the Fever grounded, focused, and upbeat through the toughest stretches.
Impact has having more vets on the team, because that's a little different from your first 2 years.
Yeah, no, seriously, I think it's been great. Seriously, it's been a blessing for me. It was crazy. We were just talking to Sid about this on the plane ride over here, and I was like, listen, like it's great to have you guys because like we're young players, and like sometimes we still have that mindset of like, oh my gosh, I need to be perfect. Like I need to, and having vets like Tosh and Sid, like honestly, like I know everyone thinks Sid like the comedic person, like so funny, but I think getting to know Sid and who she is, she's like the best person for any locker room and for our locker room.
Aaliyah even shared a story about Sydney Colson that showed just how much more there is to her than being the team's comedic spark. Behind the jokes and lighthearted energy, Sydney has an instinct for leadership that goes beyond words. She knows exactly when to speak up, when to quietly pull a teammate aside, and how to deliver the kind of message that resets someone's mindset in an instant. That, Aaliyah says, isn't something you can coach, it's something you feel. And in a season full of turbulence and challenges, that presence has been everything. Sydney always seems to know the exact thing to say, and it's made all the difference in keeping the Fever together.
She knows exactly what to say. She knows exactly how to say it, how to be in your ear and just continuously talking to you. And it's just like, it's perfect. I told her, I was like, listen, I hear you talking. Sometimes I'm like trying not to crash out internally, but I promise I'm hearing what you're saying. Like I really am. And I think just having those vets that know how to win, but also know how to like tell you like, you're good. It's a process. The journey. Not every game is going to be great, but keep shooting. Yeah. And I feel like that's like how we've been with each other, is that mindset of like every shot you take, be confident.
So while the 2025 season may have opened with more setbacks than highlights, the Indiana Fever have turned it into a masterclass in resilience. They've learned to win ugly, to bend without breaking, and to trust each other when the pressure's at its highest. Every injury, every lineup shuffle, every piece of outside noise has only toughened them. And now, in the WNBA semifinals against the defending champion Las Vegas Aces, that toughness is on full display. The series is headed back to Indiana, and the energy is electric, razor-sharp, with every possession feeling like a dogfight. What makes this run even more remarkable? The Fever are battling through injuries to 6 key players, yet instead of folding, they've leaned into the chaos. At the heart of it all is Aaliyah Boston. As head coach Stephanie White put it, she's been the team's rock, balancing fierce competitiveness with emotional leadership, showing the entire league what it means to refuse to be defined by adversity. This isn't just about surviving, it's about sending a message. The Fever may be battered, but they are never beaten. Aaliyah Boston didn't just show up this season, she leveled up, carrying the team through injuries, media storms, and relentless expectations. And alongside Caitlin Clark and the rest of this fearless squad, they've turned doubt into fuel and adversity into identity. The Indiana Fever are here. They're for real. And they're just getting started. If you've been sleeping on them, it's time to wake up, because the best is still to come. Drop A, B, and CC in the comments to show love for Aaliyah, Caitlin, and the Fever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next